cannot see. I cannot see, yet I'm not blind. Well, not really. It's not that I can't see. There's nothing to see. Also, I don't exist anymore. I don't exist as I used to. I'm in the void. The void is not empty, as there are others here, yet it's not occupied. This is not a paradox brought about by the difficulties of language or an attempt to confuse. These facts present the reality of the void. There's no physicality in the void, so there's no concept of time. Simply stated, time did not, does not, nor will it exist in the void. All reasoning beings come to the void. If there are others here, non-humans, I cannot say with certainty, although I would not be surprised. Eventually, I will be brought forth from the void to experience my particular judgment. I begin to gradually discern a fog. Eventually, the thick clouds recede, and I see a wall reaching to the upper limits and extending to and beyond the horizons, and an impressive double door. The wall and door shimmer, and my first thought is that this covering material is brass. However, I quickly realize my error and correct myself. Although there is no external indication of what is beyond the entrance, somehow I know that my lifetime performance review is about to be held in this, the ultimate conference room. If all goes well, I will go beyond to the office of the ultimate executive. Since the creation of this universe, there has been much speculation regarding the nature of the ultimate executive officer. Some people think that he is the sole shareholder of the ultimate holding company and, in turn, is the only board member. Others suggest the board consists of only 3 members, while others believe there are 12. Regardless of the number of board members, almost everyone agrees the ultimate executive officer's management style is hands-off, and he involves himself so little with corporate affairs that his son is the de facto executive officer. One of the few benefits of experiencing the void is that I now know the energies of the ultimate executive officer flow from the ultimate shareholder through the corporation, then through subsidiaries and subsequent descending layers of management, infusing all of creation with the ultimate executive officer's energy, and calling those which are not, as he is not the executive of the dead, the executive of the living. The double doors open, and as I walk to the far end of the conference room of truth, there are a total of 42 presidents, alternately seated to my left and to my right. These presidents have grave responsibilities, for all the workings, seen and unseen, of the cosmos are subject to their authority. Below me, through the transparent glass-like floor, is the cosmos. The cosmos is all potential versions of all potential universes. I am insignificant in comparison to the vastness of possibilities. God's energy is not like magnetism and electricity as described by science. God's energy is dynamic, and while similar to the force of science fiction as it permeates everything, but it cannot be detected or discovered by science or its methods. Supernatural and super science. Who could guess? I really tried to show people that appeals to books and authorities only demonstrate the singular ability to quote sources. I wanted people to realize that they have the answers to their questions, not as some mystical mumbo-jumbo, but because of our nature. We can think and reason. If we have instincts as human beings, then these instincts are easily overruled or made null by our minds. Whether the conclusion of our reasoning is sensible or not, thought out or ill-conceived. I suppose I will never understand people. I really tried. I really did. The Lord holds a crook and flail in either hand as symbols of his authority. I recall modern depictions of Jesus as the Good Shepherd, meek and mild, and there are the mental images of Christ formed from fiery sermons as the judge of the world. These images of the good Jesus and judging Christ are difficult to reconcile as pertaining to one person. By holding the crook and flail, the mind cannot think that Osiris is only either mild or judging. He is correctly shown with both symbols. The moderns have divided the personalities of Jesus Christ, and these images cannot be reconciled. Ancient Christianity taught that Jesus was fully man and fully God. The moderns prefer less ambiguity and more certainty in their theology. I doubt that they have succeeded. I really tried. I really did. Idols will eventually disappoint the idolater. Why? Because externals cannot meet the expectations of the ideal. The ideal is a product of the mind, and creations are a result of nature or man's manipulation of nature. The supposed authority of an idol that people hold in high esteem. If people place their trust in an idol, then they are capable of anything. To trust a creation, but not the judgment of their own mind, what are they thinking? Better to trust the authority of an idol, or any authority, than their own values and the resultant judgment. Even if their conclusions were wrong, it would be better because they could learn from experience. Their standard, their idol, is arbitrarily assigned, and since it is external to themselves, they cannot move forward as human beings. They can only exist as reactionary beings similar to angels as found in mythology. Yet these messengers of old had a purpose. It must be an unfulfilling life, always reacting and never able to glimpse the possibility of a life that is satisfying and productive. It is so sad. I tried. I really tried. I don't understand how people make value judgments. I suppose they don't have values, either of right or wrong, or of nobility or decadence. One result of this lack of values is that the expediency of the moment determines their actions. Why don't they make plans and have goals? The moment takes precedence, living in the moment, not using their mind's ability to reason that although a course of action can be taken, should it be taken? When they live for the moment and don't live for themselves, how can this be satisfying? I suppose it cannot be satisfying. Perhaps that explains why there's so much complaining. They are truly unhappy, but they don't realize that they have the answers to their suffering. I suppose that they conclude that their unfulfilled lives, filled with reactions and anguish, is normal, is expected, is what it means to be human and living on earth. I couldn't show them a better way, because the resolution to their problem is simple, and people do not want simple answers that work, but convoluted and complex explanations that are neither understandable nor beneficial. I suppose that explains why there are so many self-help books, psychiatrists, and counselors. You have had the answer to your problems and struggles all along. They wouldn't believe that that is correct. I recall Dorothy in her slippers. She had the means to go home any time, but took a more difficult route than what was necessary. Perhaps humans prefer the more difficult of two choices. Perhaps we thrive on challenge. When life becomes too easy, people intentionally take actions that create adversity. Perhaps this adversity, this struggle, makes life worth living for those without reasoning and without values. I always thought that superfluous endeavors were unproductive and that my time and effort could be applied elsewhere. I really tried. I really did. I stopped at the foot of the stairs that rise to the Master, who is appropriately attired in supernatural brightness and seated as the Lord of eternity. He inquires, "How have you done?" I wince. Yet, having hope in his unending charity, I respond, "What I received freely, I gave freely." I glance towards Beaky, who, in his role as recorder, is indifferent to the outcome of the proceedings. He stands behind the scale of judgment, whose pans alternately swing up and down, and below the scale Ammit, the insatiable crocodile, hippo, and lioness that she is. I continue, "And what I labored and struggled to cause to come into being, I gave freely, initially to those people who I knew, and later to those I could never meet. Since my ideals and virtues were non-contradictory, I became what I did not seek, nor what anyone could foresee, a benefactor to humanity." The Lord responds, "You do not answer the question." I reply, "I know I didn't, nor can I answer the question, for any reply to how I did requires a value judgment, and such evaluation is beyond my limited area of competency. Therefore, I offered a summation of what I did." The swaying scales stop. Ammit is disappointed. "Well done, good and faithful servant, as you have been productive with what little you had. Now pass and enter to the presence of the ultimate executive officer, where you will receive your reward, an eternal house not formed with hands." As I related earlier, this is my particular judgment. In the eternal words of Beaky, price and participation will vary.